Hey everyone, I have been actually debating myself with if I should make this video or not, but I actually decided to do it just to help me kind of accept what's been happening lately, and it deals with Justin Carmichael, also known as JewWario online. Um, it has gotten my attention that he was known as, you know, a sexual groomer, and as like one of his victims, I think I heard there was like one or two, but a victim of his had came forward and basically I admit I do not have all the information. It's basically secondhand to me, so I may get some information wrong, but this victim had, I believe it was, had gone to like the higher ups of Channel Ops and let them know that, hey, you need to know this, and from what I gather, all they did was fire him, and 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 they didn't actually tell anyone about this, so I do apologize for pausing it. I mean, it's just hard to get my head around this, because when I first saw his videos, it was a time where my life was kind of rough, and basically it's like it was around the time where I wasn't doing so well in college, which led me to not only drop out of college, but I lost my Hope Scholarship. My dad wanted me to do something dealing with computers instead of, I want to get in theater to help my self-confidence. He wanted me to go into computers. That 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 was the whole reason why I left college, because I was failing a couple classes. One was dealing with programming. And at that point, I was, getting close to becoming a shut-in, and I just stumbled across JewWario's videos, and just watching them made me feel better. It's like, don't give up. Something could come along eventually. And when he committed suicide 4 years ago, I mean, when I heard the news, I just was devastated. And it was, I mean, he seemed like a nice guy. From what I heard from people saying stuff about him after his death, saying how they never expected this, he seemed like a nice guy, very cheerful. And, after hearing him, like, I kind of wish I saw him, met him, saying, hey, I was in a bad time in my life, and just seeing your videos helped me. I was like, kind of beating myself, like I didn't say something, especially on social media. And the more I hear about people saying these nice things, I was like, he would fit along with my group of friends. And then when I had heard about this within this past week or two, I'm like, at first I was like, almost like everybody, like, no, he seemed like a nice guy, and he couldn't do this. Maybe this person was not telling the truth. They were lying about this just because the whole thing with Channel also right now, and that they just wanted to take a stab at him. And when I just like hear other people talking about this and mentioning about this Reddit post, the more I think, well, he could have, and I started back and forth, like, maybe he did, maybe he didn't, maybe, and it wasn't until I saw it was a Mars girl and the I know, like, who was it? It was like Ness the Nintendo Punk, or that fellow. I forget his username. I do apologize. Um, uh, they made a video about this, and like, you know, they're just watching them. I'm like, I especially feel sorry for Mars Girl, because from what I heard, she was the closest. I just want to give her a hug and say, it's not your fault, and then, and it was more like, okay, I accept this. He could have done this. He's the one person that you would never expect this to happen. But he is that wicked person. And 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 I just want to say to those who actually knew Justin, who feel like, oh, I should have picked something up, I'm saying, it's not your fault. There's a good chance that you could have not known about this, or how dark his skeletons were. And it's his fault, actually. You trusted him, and he betrayed your trust. And I do feel sorry for the victim, but I want to say to the victim and any possible other victims of JewWarios is that you guys are strong. But it was hard for saying, you know, I mean, he seemed like a nice guy, and you don't want to say, no, he isn't. He did this to me. And it took a lot of strength of them to stand up saying, pointing out that this person isn't really a nice person at all. And throughout the whole time I was listening to people's thoughts about this, two things kind of popped in my mind. One was back about the whole Bill Cosby thing, and it's like, yeah, it's kind of similar like that, but more for us, kind of like geek people. It's like, you know, he was a good person, but he ended up being a horrible person after all. And the other one was this video that Jeff from my mother's basement made a while, like recently, I think within the past month or two. He made a video about how good art was created by awful people. And he had used two creators in his video over from Japan. One, I can't remember, but the other one was the author and creator of Rurouni Kenshin, which, if you ask anyone from the anime community who actually seen that show or read the manga, they said it was a good work and all that is worth praise, but finding out that the creator had it was like children pornography on his computer. I think it was, and he got caught and arrested, and it was like, really? I mean, yeah, and that kind of fits at this situation right now. Is that it's something that you'd never expect, because I think when we find that person or entertainer that was like, oh, they do really well, their stuff is really good, and we put them on a high pedestal, and when they get so high, and then all of a sudden we see that they're not that great of a person, all of a sudden things just crash down around us. It's like, how are we going to recover? But for me, making this video is one step forward for me, is accepting that, hey, his videos may be great. I mean, when he passed away, I did not watch any of his videos within 2 years because every time I looked at like his page on YouTube and feel like, you know, this can't be real, he's not gone. If I watch his videos, I will probably break down and cry saying there won't be a new one. And what made me get out of my like rough patch of life, well, it's not ever going to be there anymore. So within the first 2 years, I was trying to find something to, you know, I just think back to wanting to be I wanted to be a shut-in because I couldn't handle being around people. And I mean, I have good co-workers that, you know, and kind of that I can talk to and find something creative to do. But I do kind of feel sorry for people who make tribute videos or blogs about JewWario. I even made one on my site, just what I felt during that time, and I actually did like one of my my reviews in memory of him, because I think it was suited at the time because the anime I was covering was an anime based off of a video game that I don't think it got released here in the US, but for those who decided to, you know, take down their tribute videos, or those who did crossovers with him and you're going to remove that or edit where he's not in them, personally, it's like putting a band-aid over the problem. Even though you're going to do that, it doesn't really match the issue. It's like, yes, this is what you felt at the time, the time when you did the tributes, or you didn't know he was like this when you did the crossovers. I think keeping those up is a reminder saying, this is what I felt at the time, and this is how I feel now. Because throughout this whole week, I was thinking about, I was like, how did I view JewWario during the time he was alive? And for me, he was an entertainer. That was all. Yes, he was a good entertainer, but when his skeletons came to the closet, it's like, but he was a bad person. And that I could not forgive him. And so I'm going to keep those up. And for whoever, like, you know, comments like, yeah, you know, was a bad person, I'm like, look at this video and I discussed it. And I think that's what people should kind of consider doing. It's like, you know, as a part of our history, it's like, and Marshall did a good suggestion is, let's see, I think it was, 2 years ago, she made a tribute video for JewWario with her money and time, and it was like a 2-hour thing, which I do kind of suggest people seeing, but she commented on her own channel that she's going to keep it up because she was going to demonetize the comment section, as well as the video she was making addressing JewWario. And I have to say that's probably the best move I've ever heard from people, because, you know, just editing JewWario out from crossovers and the whole removing tribute videos about him was like, that really sounds good. But what really pisses me off is that how Channel Awesome handled JewWario. from like I said before, all they did was fire him. They did not let other people know about it, especially convention holders and other sites like Channel Awesome that hosts other people's videos. They didn't contact them saying, "Hey, you should know something about him." But they didn't. But when I heard about that, actually thought what came to mind for me, it was something that happened within the past year that in the Brony community, one of their reviewers slash analyst people of the Brony community was outed for being a pedophile. And he was found out was one of his victims had contacted one of this particular person's friends, or someone who was very close to this person, had told him that, "Hey, there's something you need to know. I'm one of his victims," and actually gotten all these emails, sent all these emails and I think like chat logs to this person saying, you need to know this. And what this particular person did, gathered a few more people in the Brony analysis community, told them, and then said, "Okay, let's find more evidence." I think they actually talked to this particular person saying, "Hey, is this true?" And I think he confirmed it, and so then they gave him like ultimatum saying, either turn yourself in or we are. But in the end, they actually went to the authorities, and I'm not really sure if he got arrested or not, but they did contact the authorities, showing them their evidence, and of course, someone had this whole process, but the people who were close to this little search made a video and say, "Hey, the reason why we didn't come forward at first was because we were gathering evidence, so this person would not try and weasel his way out. But we did contact the authorities once we got enough evidence." And what they did was what I would have expected Channel Awesome to do, but they didn't. And because of this, I did start checking on, looking at, going to the site and stuff. I'm still mad. It's like they didn't address anything, but I mean, they should at least let some of the people from Channel Awesome saying, this is the whole reason why he was fired. But we don't want you to tell everybody yet because we're trying to get more evidence, and so there won't be any more victims. That's what they should have done. Now I kind of want to hear from you guys. How were you feeling? Were you upset? How were you, and all that? Because I think talking to someone like this will help. And and I want to say again, for all those people who you trust in and are blaming yourself for not catching on or speaking up when you saw something suspicious, it is not your fault. Trust me, a good portion of my life I've been suffering from depression and anxiety, and there are moments where I blame myself. But I keep telling myself, it's not your fault. It's simply not your fault. And for any of the victims, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Trust me. You guys are strong. And give yourself a hug for me. That's all I can say. Till next time.